Well, we're going to go ahead and get started because we want to save some time towards the end for Q&A. But we're really excited about our March Town Hall. We normally use this chance every year to focus on International Women's Day, like the celebration that we have for International Women's Day in Sierra Leone, and then just highlighting the amazing work that happens in our Nurturing Opportunities for Women program. So that's our plan for this year as well. But we actually have kind of an exciting goal for 2025. We are planning to reach 1,000 women this year with the first phase of the Now program. So we are very excited about that. And I'm going to go ahead and get us going. But first, I just want to introduce the two other speakers here today. So my name's Taylor. I'm the Donor Communications Officer, but we also have Vanessa, the co-host. She is the Communications Supervisor. And we have Hamida too, who is the Now Program Supervisor with us today as well. So we are really excited to share about our program with you both, with everybody. So this year, the theme for International Women's Day is accelerating action. And we just thought that this aligns so well with our goals that Vanessa and Hamida are going to talk about later. We are really making a big jump this year with the our expansion into the Kono district and the new women that we are going to be partnering with. So it just fits so well that this year is all about speeding up the rate of progress. And so we had a celebration over the weekend in Kinema that Hamida planned and led. And I've heard that there were 200 people in attendance celebrating International Women's Day, which is so awesome. And so we always definitely want to take that opportunity to celebrate it each year, and are very, very thankful for that. We are really focused on the idea of collective action as part of accelerating action. This is something that's really important to our theory of change and just the belief that change happens in community when there is a unified vision and everyone working together and believing that something can come about. So we see this as a really big part of the theme for International Women's Day and in our own partnerships in Sierra Leone. So we are excited to talk about that a little bit later.
Mhm.
And our expansion as of this year into the Kono district really creates kind of like a new milestone for the different communities that we're partnering with. Like there is a really big increase. So we're just really excited to talk about this today. Vanessa's going to share a little bit more about the context of the Now program and our comparison from like recent years to the goals that we have for 2025. So Vanessa, I'm going to hand this over to you.
Thanks, Taylor, and thank you everyone who has joined and for anyone who's going to be listening on later. Thank you for watching. I wanted to, as we're talking about accelerating action and what that means for women, what that means for International Women's Day, what that means for One Village Partners, a big thing that I wanted to share, especially as Taylor just mentioned, is the context. So we can say we're reaching 1,000 women, but if no one really understands how far or how grand that is compared to how many women we reached last year or the year before, it may seem like a quote unquote achievable goal. So, One Village Partners, as we see here, we launched in 2016 with our three heritage communities, and we started with 96 participants. 96 participants, that was massive. Then we had women joining us from all walks of life, joining us from these communities. They were, we were meeting, once a week as we do, or a couple sessions a week to try and get, our what we do out there. And we were so excited about just seeing women gather, seeing women be able to gather and learn and, expand on their skills and expand on their financial literacy. But now we see that from 96 participants, last year we reached up to 480 women. So I'm not good at maths, but that is, and so we're really excited to see that this growth in cohort, it doesn't just stem from, we're going to more communities and, society has changed and all of that, but we're seeing this because we're seeing the growth in the program. We're seeing people tell their neighbors, neighbors tell their neighbors, neighbors tell their friends, friends tell their sisters. And so we're seeing this word of mouth grow, and we're seeing these women who are able to come forward to say, I actually do want to learn. I would like to assume in 2016, one thing we do teach about a lot in our now program is that, public confidence, and is that equity, and that gender equity. And I can imagine in 2016, when we just started the program, it was such a new concept, and it was such a new concept in these communities. But now we're seeing more women put their hands up to say, no, I actually want to be able to speak up in public. I want to be able to understand my financial decisions. I want to be able to have a say in my financial decisions in our home. So we're seeing more women come up. And so 480 women last year was just massive for us. And so when we're saying we're on track to reach 1,000 women, we're reaching 1,000 women in one district. And so we're so excited to see what's going to happen in Connaught. We think that we know that the desire is there, and we also know that the percentage of participants and the percentage of women, especially now in this day and age, we know that it will just be immeasurable. I'll speak on the now two phase, which grew from 114 cohorts to 464 in 2023 and 24. So it grew from 114 cohorts from 2016 or 17, I believe. So again, we're seeing that growth. And so I will reiterate, as we're reaching for 1,000, we think it's achievable because we're seeing changes and we're seeing the growth. In now three, which is our recent now program, or our recent sub now program, we saw it started from 122 participants all the way to 520. And in 2023, the now harvest was 320 bushels. But then by the end of 2024, it surged to 1,096 bushels. So we're seeing a growth of harvest to 76 bushels of rice. And so the increase is due to the engagement we're seeing in the communities. We're seeing these women really hands-on in their farming groups, hands-on in wanting to learn, hands-on in wanting to cultivate their financial security and things like that. So we're really excited. And as this is happening, we're seeing the literacy as well. So as women are increasing in their financial capabilities, we're seeing the literacy rates in these communities increase as well. So from 2016, we started with 67% illiteracy rates in our partnered communities, in the three communities we're working in. In 2024, the average was around 47%. Um, Again, there are so many environmental factors, there's so many external factors, but we really believe the Now program is doing amazing work in empowering these women and giving and demonstrating that, by fostering that relationship with women, fostering that relationship with communities, and giving them the skills that they need and they require, and listening to them, we're seeing the value kind of come up in households and come up in communities. So we're really excited. And the last thing I do want to share, which isn't on here, um, over the years, or well, maybe I will say probably in the last year or so, when the monitoring and evaluation thing began at baseline and an end line, the baseline for women in communities was at 17% when they reported on joint decision making. So 17% of women were saying, "Oh yeah, I have equal joint decision making with my partner." At the end of it, by the end of the year, that jumped to 76%. So the NAM program, as we say, we're accelerating rates in individual lives. We're also seeing that joint decision, that joint equal homes, equal households, in 2024, and we're also seeing that growth. So we're really excited when we say 1,000 women. We're really excited to see that's 1,000 women, but that's also potentially more women when they tell their sisters or their neighbors, and then we see that, and where that's potentially more households that are going to be transformed and going to have that, gender equity and gender balance that we really do push for. So we are very excited for this goal, and I'm going to pass it on to Hamida, who's going to speak a little bit more about why 1,000, what is this special number of 1,000. But we are excited, and I hope you can see from the context that we are growing, and the Now program is doing amazing work. So we're very confident of our target. Thank you, Hamida.
Thank you, Vanessa. Of course, why the Now program said we are going to hit 1,000 women this year. We all know that at OVP, when we believe that when we empower women, they will strengthen their families and also uplift their entire community. So with that, there are 1,000 dreams will be met. As of this 2025, we have partners with over 70,000 people. Connaught District, which is our newest expansion area, we have 12 communities across 4 chiefdoms that we are now operating. We believe, just like I said earlier, enhancing the capacity of these 1,000 women through this program in 2025 will create a very big change in these communities, because we all know that women are more vulnerable in this rural area. So with that, they lack so many things. They lack the accessibility of education. They also don't have the ability to speak in public. When it comes to hunger, they and their children they suffer most. And also, when there is a breakout of sickness, their children and them suffer most. They also lack the ability of savings from their income or earning. So with this, we thought it fits that the Connaught District needs this training, because we want to see that the changes we have created in Kenema District and Kailam District, they also will benefit from it. At the end, we want to see that we were able to create change among these women in all the communities that we have partnered with. They will be able to make household decision and planning, business skills and agriculture training, effective communication. We also want to see that gender gap is being break, because we know that in this community there is gender gap. So we want to see that they are on the safer side during this Now training. We also want to see that they are also confident and have self-esteem. We want to see that participants are able to take lead in their community, not just in their community, but also in leadership. So these are some of the things that we believe when we have partnered with us 12 communities across those 4 chiefdoms, we will see. Presently, the sections for the first phase, the Now phase 1, which is strengthening household finances, is ongoing. 26 sections will be conducted. In these 26 sections, one section will be conducted weekly, and 3 family sections will also be conducted, where we will involve the family relatives or family, their husbands to the sections for them to show support and also aware of the training that their relatives or their wives are going through. So with that, they themselves will see that they need to work towards the change that we are preaching. We also have the home visits to support participants in the learning. This is the time we visit participants in their homes to see if they are learning, if they are really getting what they are being trained in the sections. So with that, we know, we also know if they are in peace, they are in harmony with their partners. Because at times when they are stressed in the home, even when they go to the training section, they will not understand anything because they already have something tormenting their mind. But when we go at their homes, at that time, they will have that free mind. They also trust will be built between us and them, because at first they will be afraid to share at the section ground. They will be ashamed to share whatever that is disturbing them. But when you meet them one on one and also with their husband, at times they will open up and tell you exactly what is going on, and with that you will be able to resolve whatever that is happening in the family. And also, if they do not understand the section, that is the time we have more time for us to recap the section with them. So that's why the home visit is also here. So after all the sections, they graduate from the program and they are being certified. So they later enroll into the Now P2 section, which is the improving income through business skills. This section is about 10 sections. It lasts about 3 months. Also, one section will be conducted weekly. One section will be conducted weekly. And it also have 2 home visits, one home visit and 2 family sections. We are also including family in the section for them to know exactly what the training is about, the aspects of the training, so they themselves can see the importance of the training. So also, just as I said earlier, for the Now Phase 1, the home visit, that is the same thing we do for the home visit. After the section has also completed, we do give them certificate. They also graduate from the section. Then they also enroll into the Now Phase 3. That is the agric business, where OVP partner with the Ministry of Agriculture to come and train the participants for them to be having good heal in their inputs, out of their inputs. So these are the key things that we do, and we are aiming to also do at Kono, by the grace of God.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Habida, too. We are going to use the rest of our time today for Q&A, but very quickly, I just wanted to invite you to connect with us. If you aren't following us on social media, please do so. Vanessa runs our social media and she posts amazing content and updates. And if you have any questions that come up, after the Q&A, like later on, please feel free to reach out over email. We would love to speak with you. But we are going to go ahead and I'm going to jump out of here so that way we can all kind of see each other's faces. But if you have any questions about our presentation today, about the Now program, about the amazing details that Hamida shared for like the visionary goals for Now this year, this is a great time. We'd love to hear your questions.
I have a quick question. So you had mentioned the Now 2, and the Now 3. So is it different lessons in each of the layers of those?
Yeah.
Do you want to
Hamida, do
answer
you want
that?
to? Oh, sorry, Vanessa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like for which one did you measure? If now phase 1 or phase 2?
Are there different lessons for each one?
For each one, yeah. Like the now phase 1. Of course, we are talking about accelerating action. So with the now phase 1 and also the now phase 2, we are able to break the gender gap in these communities. And with that, I believe we are promoting gender equity and equality. Also, we have also involved the family members with our section. They are now able to save together. And the husband, before the husband, they only control their finances, but now they are including their wives. So at times to even take lead in terms of their household finances. They are also having joint business when it comes to the now phase 2. They are also having joint business. They are also saving together. So these are some of the changes that we believe we have created in these communities. And we believe that we are promoting gender equity and also equality. And not only that, don't forget, of course, we are empowering these women. And with that, we have created so many changes.
We also, like Hamida was saying, the phase 2 is more geared towards like strengthening a small business, and phase 3 is like specifically agricultural businesses and providing resources if women want to start their own agricultural business. So it's pretty awesome. You can move through and you learn a lot of different things in each one.
I've been part of OVP for a long time, and I never realized now with going into Kono district, it's a different tribal group, and I believe the local language is different. What language do you give these instructions in? I had always assumed it was Mende, but I don't think that works for Kono district.
Exactly. Likely we use Creole. Well, I mean, some people are au fait with this same Creole and their languages. So at times they do the interpretations. For those that, well, most of them know the Creole language. Though some don't understand, but those that understand, we use them as the translators to translate exactly what they are learning from the sections.
So you start with Mende, and then you'll use these multi.
In the Kono district, no, we are not using Mende because it's not a Mende land. We are using Creole, the general language.
Creole. But in Kenema district, you use Mende and Creole?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Great question, Anne. Thank you. It looks like Mina has a question that she put in the chat. It says, do facilitators find it easier or challenging to instruct in Creole, given that Mende has always been the primary language in Kailaun and Kinema? That's a great question. Hamida, do you want to speak to that as well?
Yeah, thank you. At first, when the sections got started, there was kind of gap. But as at now, we have resolved it. Just like I said earlier, at times they do use the Creole language, and those that are au fait with both the language do um, um, say it in their own language for them to understand what exactly the message is. And at times, we know students learn more from their companion.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you. Also, we
Yeah.
have time for one more quick question if someone has one. So yeah, we have like a couple more minutes left, but if not, no worries. We can always save everybody the extra minute. But this is a great chance if anyone has any last questions that they want to know. All right. Well, thank you all so much for attending. Hamida, thank you so much for sharing about the Now program. We are going to send a recording of this out to everyone who's here. So if you want to watch this again, you totally can. Also, if you want to share this with some friends or coworkers, you can do that as well. But thank you so much. We are seriously so excited about our goals this year. And it's just really exciting to even think that we're in a place where we can partner with 1,000 new women. That's pretty awesome. So thank you again for coming, and hopefully we'll catch you at the next town hall.
Thank
Thank
you all.
you.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you. It's my faulty camera. Bye bye.